It's the Benz Punani womanist. Baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. Sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea. We are go sip it, yo. Hard time scrolling for your long shorts. You might learn something you never know. Collect you fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say you're mine, say you're mine.
What straws got to do with it? Yeah. What straws when your jaw can be broken? What straws got to do with it? Watch what you say, 'cause your jaw can be broken. Tina Turner, I dedicate that to you. You can have all of my creativity. I totally don't mind. I'm so happy for you to have it. I hope you all enjoyed that one, and you can use that as a rendition as well. You can all just share all of my my random songs. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. It still blows my mind that like thousands of people listen to this every week. I don't quite know what to make of it, but we thank God. I only ever really created this thinking that like, I don't know, like 10, 20 people would listen, or maybe 100. Didn't think that it would keep rising and rising, but this is where we found ourselves. But anyway, it is I, Kelechi. No, don't ever call me Kelechi. My name's Kelechi Okafor. Welcome to SYM, officially known as Say Your Mind, unofficially known as What? That's right, suck your mum. And it's another week or another 2 weeks. I'm back with all of the things. I feel like there's so much to get into today, so I'll get into it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be like, why is she dressed so fancy? Well, if you notice, I haven't put on makeup because I really can't be asked with makeup at the moment, but I'll explain soon. But anyway, yeah, I've just come from the cover reveal of Rennie K. Amayo's new book called Daughters of Inri, N-R-I, Inri. Rennie, I want to know, like, is there something in the name Rennie that makes them great writers? Because obviously we've got Rennie Edo Lodge, who gave us Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. And then we've got Rennie K. Amayo, who's just given us this Daughters of Inri, and it is brilliant. I can't wait. Like, they gave us a little excerpt in our boxes of what it's about, or what, just an excerpt of from one of the pages in the book, and it's incredible. The cover design is beautiful, and just big up Rennie and big up Bianca of Onway Press, who organised the whole thing. It was so lavish. I've never been to a cover reveal or a book launch that's been that lavish. I think the one that came close was Slaying Your Lane with Elizabeth and Yomi. That was cute as fuck. And this was, them levels. It was so plush. It was really, really nice. And it was so lovely to see so many amazing Black women in the same room. I can't wait for this book to come out and for it to maybe be a film as well. Like, I'll talk about books becoming films later on, but I'm just so happy. I'm so happy that I got invited to this cover reveal, and the food was really nice. We were at Aubain, or is it Aubain? I'm calling it Aubain, in Mayfair. We were there, so I felt really fancy, like a baby girl. I felt like an Instagram blogger. Yeah, it was really nice. So that's what I've just been doing before rushing over here to record this episode, so you all have this for Monday. Also, the TEDx talk. So I haven't made an episode since the TEDx talk, and my G's, when I tell you that I knocked the ball straight out the park, all the way out the park. Can't see it, never going to see it again. The ball is gone, dropped into a canal. You're never going to find it. I'm really, really proud of myself. And I'm doing this. It's very different for me to big up myself in this way, because my therapist has spoken to me more about the fact that I don't celebrate myself enough. So I'm really, really happy with that TEDx talk, and I can't wait for it to be out on YouTube so I can share it with you all. But basically, I spoke about empowerment and how I think that in this day and age where terms are becoming conflated in our society, people talk about, oh, I empower people to rare, rare, rare. I empower people to rare, rare, rare. But I don't think any of us empower anybody. The empowerment is a journey. So therefore, it's not a thing that we can do for anybody. We can't go on that journey for them. We can only encourage them to go on that journey of empowerment. And empowerment is, like I said, a journey. Therefore, it's not a destination. And it's just something that I can't wait for you to, if I go into it too much, you won't even enjoy the TEDx talk, but you just need to see it. And big up Sussex Uni girls who organised it. You're all baby girls. You're all incredibly wonderful, beautiful. I had the best time. It was so well organised. I was treated so well. And it just made me happy. I just feel like Black people, look at other Black people treating each other with respect and giving us a nice accommodation, nice food, nothing to worry about, all of them things there. You can do the same thing. Big up Triple Cripples. They were incredible. Big up Oloni, incredible. Big up Ibrahim Kamara and big up Toby as well. Like, everyone did such a wonderful, wonderful job of giving their talks. And yeah, man, you'll enjoy. You'll really, really enjoy when it comes out. Obviously, you all know what you need to do. When mine comes out, let's try and get it to Oprah, because Oprah needs to know that I'm here, because, you know, we're both baby girls at the end of the day, and we need to be in each other's presence as far as I can see. That's what I believe. So, yeah, that's been pretty much what I've been up to. I mean, I've been up to other things, but you know, I'm a secretive person. I don't even like the word secretive. I don't think I'm secretive. I'm just an incredibly private person. But I'm learning to share more. I'm learning to share more, and I'll continue to do so. But those are all of the bits I think that I wanted to say. So I might as well just jump into the tarot and not waste time. The tarot this week, I've just felt like I'm actually going to do it as I'm recording, because I feel like the message will be clearer that way, especially since I've been like rushing to get over here to record in time, because, you know, Brent is a busy guy now. Big up Brent, who's always like making me great videos and helping the podcast to sound incredible. And that's why you all love it so much, because, you know, he does all the work. I just come in here, chat shit, and it goes online. So, yeah. Spirit guides, God, just calling upon you to help me along with this reading, making it a reading that is, you know, beneficial for the collective, something that we can all vibe with, messages that we all need in a general sense as we are working through things at the moment. Guide us. Help us. Ooh, this card. What is it with this card? I'll show you the card in a second. But yes, guide us, spirit guides, archangels. Help us to find a message for the collective that resonates, the message that people need most this week. So we can make the most of this new month, because, you know, you'll all be listening to this on the 1st of April. Help us to find a message for this month, or for the first week of this month. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so that's our first lot of cards. I'm just going to do the next lot. So my Marcella Kroll deck of cards have finally arrived. It's called the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck, and it's extremely pretty. Yeah, I really like this deck. So it's an oracle deck. So I'm still reading the information about each card and what it symbolizes, what it means. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory from how she's drawn it, but still I like to read what is written about each individual card. So I'm just pulling an oracle card as well to really tie up the message. Perfect. All right. So the first card that I pulled for us as a collective is the 7 of Coins. And you know the 7 of Coins has come up before. We've talked about it, and the image of potatoes and the potatoes being under the surface and the leaves sprouting and only being able to see the leaves. Now, if you don't know what potato leaves look like, you won't know that your potatoes are there underneath the surface. And at the same time, I think that some of you are really worried about I think some of you are really worried about what your future holds and whether any of the things that you've been doing is actually going to come to fruition. And I feel like the cards are saying like, fam, stop being so immature is the word that comes straight to my head. Like, stop being so immature. Like, grow up and stop being childish. Like, you know that you've put in the work. You know that these things are going to come to light. Stop fretting over what God has already taken control of. I think it was in Super Soul Conversations where I heard someone say, fear is when you only feel fear when you're believing in your own power. That is when you feel fear. Because if you trusted in God, if you trusted in the Almighty, if you trusted that this universe only wants to ever give you great things, you wouldn't be fearful. You only are fearful when you believe that you are the one controlling things. And so when things aren't going your way, you feel fearful because you can't control what's happening. So this is the Seven of Coins card. I think like it's really saying like, especially in the career sense or anything that you're waiting to manifest, if it's a house, if it's a job or a deal, some kind of deal, whether it's a book deal, whether it is whatever, some kind of influencer brand collaboration, whatever it is that you're waiting for, even if it's in like the health sense, you're looking for results. If it's a thing of your body, either way, stop being so childish. Like, you keep putting in the work that you're putting in. Throwing these tantrums about the fact that you're not seeing the things come to fruition is silly, because your guides, God is just looking at you like, wagwan, baby. Wagwan, baby girl, baby boy, baby non-binary. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know I've got this. What is the point of fucking praying and saying like, God, I hand it over to you, but you're not actually you're not actually handing it over to God. You're not actually handing it over to God. You want to do a tug of war with God over the thing that you've already said, I've handed over to you. Hand the fucking thing over and let God do what God does, innit? Like, the image that I kept thinking about before these cards even came up, and it's played on my mind for a couple of weeks, is the idea of a dry cleaner. So you go to a dry cleaner, you say like, look, my clothes are soiled, innit? My clothes are soiled. I need you to clean them. I need you to professionally clean them because I can't clean it by myself. So you take the clothes to the dry cleaner, and the dry cleaner says, all right, you know what? You can pick the clothes up next week Wednesday, whatever the fuck. Pick up the clothes next week Wednesday. Now you've dropped the clothes off this Monday. They've told you to come and pick it up next week Wednesday. Now what you decide to do, because you're immature and you don't like to listen, is that you go back in there tomorrow. You go in there on Tuesday and you're like, is it ready yet? And they're like, fam, I told you next week Wednesday. So that's a whole week away. Go away. You go in again on Wednesday. Oh, is it ready yet? No, you've got a full 7 days before you can come and collect this garment. Do you want me to do my job? Do you want me to clean this garment and alter it and do all of the things that I need to do to make you look great in it? Or do you just want to keep bothering my fucking life? That is the message that I feel is out there. I don't feel like God says it like that. Imagine if God spoke like me. That would be funny. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Anyway, yeah, that's me giving you my interpretation of what the message is. But basically, we talk about, create in me a new heart, oh God, and renew thy spirit in me. God's trying to do the thing and then you're getting involved. You're interfering in the thing. So how is it ever going to get done? Like, back up. Back up. You don't know me like that. Well, God wants you to know him like that, but just still back up in it. And then the second card that came out was the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords definitely talks to me about we're traveling because you can see in the Kaleidodope deck by Crystal Banner, which is the one that I'm using today. In the Kaleidodope deck by Crystal Banner, we see a moving truck, a removals truck, and then you see things being loaded into the back. And I always find it interesting that whenever I look at this card, I can only see one box. It's not filled. So it's like your travel is on the card for a lot of you, like whether that's a massive travel like transatlantic or whatever, or maybe it's just a traveling in sense of your state of mind, because at the end of the day, we're still looking at swords. So maybe it's a traveling in your state of mind. And just like I said, like spirit guides saying, stop being fucking childish about all of this. So maybe you're being asked to travel in terms of your perspective, to shift your perspective on how you're seeing the things coming to fruition in your life. Or it might just be like literally physical travel. But what I noticed, like I said, is that there's one box we can only see in the removals truck, or, you know, to take the things away. So I wonder if you're still hesitant about loading all of your things onto the truck and going away. You're still contemplating whether you should leave. But the fact is, you do need to go. You either need to shift your mindset, or you need to travel and really get out there and do what you need to do. All of these things that like us man want to achieve, we can't achieve it necessarily sitting at home all of the time. Sometimes we need to go out there, go out into the world and bring the things to us. And I think that this is what the card is suggesting, like be ready to travel, be ready to move on from where you are right now. And sometimes I feel that the other message is that we don't see the things in our life come bloom the way that we would like, because now we're in spring. Spring has sprung. Time has gone. Is it back or forward? You guys know. I think it's forward. But anyway, or is it back? Brent says it's... Brent doesn't know. Has the time gone back or forward? No. Is it going back or forward? I'll figure it out. But yeah, either way, spring has sprung. Everything's changing for us. And we're out here. The things that you want to see, basically, they're not blooming the way that you want, because it requires you to make massive changes in your life that God can tell that you're not ready to make, that the shifts in your thinking, in your mentality. Forward. Yeah, Brent just said like time's going forward. So yeah. So the time's gone forward by the time that you're listening to this. But yeah, we need to, the same way the time has gone forward, we also need to go forward. We also need to move forward. And that's basically it. We need to make the most of the daylight that we have in our life, like, you know, metaphysically speaking. That's what we need to be getting on with. From the Marcella Kroll deck, I pulled the knowledge card from the Oracle deck, and it just shows us a book, number 34. So I'm just going to read what it says. It says here, knowledge. Remain teachable. There is new wisdom available to you at this time. This card can signify getting more information before proceeding. It can also signify the presence of an important teacher, or perhaps you are the teacher and it is time to share your knowledge and gifts with the world around you. Drawing this card can also indicate a message from your Akashic records. Seek out more information about the records, or even perhaps learn how to access your own records for more clarity regarding your query. Meditate on this to learn new things, or to draw the right teachers into your life. Symbol, records. Books are forever keepers of secrets and knowledge, documenting fact, fiction, and all in between. So I think that applies in this case as well. To me, everything is just about grow up. Grow up. If you need a mentor to help you grow up, to be able to make this shift, this mental shift or physical shift that you need to make, then do that. But go and get yourself the knowledge that you need. And it's interesting that it actually brought up the Akashic records, because the workshop that I did, I'm really sorry that I don't tell you guys enough about the workshops and the things that I'm doing and where I'm appearing and things like that. But the workshop that I did last Sunday for Sticks and Stones, Steph Seeks, she put on an exhibition in Peckham, and I did a workshop there, and I basically got the participants, all Black women, I got them to basically connect with an aspect of their soul that they'd forgotten, because I feel like our soul has lived many, many lives. And sometimes the things that we're struggling with now, an aspect of our soul can give us the advice that we need, because that aspect of our soul has already done this journey, and they've probably not done it the way that they would have liked. So they can definitely help us, because this is why we're back. This is why we're here. To grow, to evolve, and to gain more knowledge. So definitely, sometimes the information that we need are records that have been kept within ourselves, that have been kept within our souls. So I did this exercise with the participants, and when I tell you there were tears, people were bawling, like tears, left, right, center, everybody there crying, because the thing that we need to know, we have always known. Life, as a teacher, you're not a teacher to teach people, give them new knowledge. You're only ever there to remind them of that which they already know instinctively within their souls. So seeing how well that workshop went, because it's a thing that I've been working on. That's been my 7 of coins, basically. It's been the thing that I've been working on in terms of a project that I want to roll out. Because it went so well, I really want to do more of it. I don't know if I want to necessarily do live shows per se, because I just don't know if that's the glitz and glam that I want. But I do definitely want my listeners and things like that to be able to take part in workshops like these, and also for us to have conversations. I feel like I've grown past. I mean, I only did 2 of them, of the live shows, but I just definitely feel like I've grown past the whole thing of like talking at the audience and then doing a Q&A. I feel like the model that would work best for me is for us to already be part of a conversation together, like, and people share their views, and I moderate the thing. I feel like that would be more suitable for me. Let me know what you think about that, because that's probably going to be the event that I roll out next. And don't now come and then be doing, I'm not someone that usually speaks in public places. I beg, raise your voice and speak properly. So if you're going to come, you need to be ready to like speak and contribute to the thing. But yeah, that's where I want to go next. I definitely want not a debate type, but definitely a discussion type forum, not this live show business. It's not for me, man. It's not for me, man. So yeah, those are our messages from the tarot this week. The knowledge that you need is inside yourself. If you don't feel like it's inside yourself, there are other people who can spark that thing in you so you can go deeper inside yourself and find what you need to find out. But definitely, please stop being childish. Please stop being immature. Like, stop throwing tantrums. You've done so much work. We know that you've done so much work. God knows that you've done so much work. The things that you have been working for are actually right there, but you need to shift your mindset in order to be able to access them, I feel, is the message for us all. Anyway, moving on then to share your magnificence. I've got a couple letters, but obviously one of my share your magnificence is Rennie KMIO. Big up yourself, because the book launch, I keep calling it a fucking book launch. The cover reveal was wonderful. Daughters of Inari is going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be life-changing. You know, you're really out here giving us sci-fi, giving us cuteness, and I really, really can't wait. Thank you so much. So let me get to the letters then that y'all have been sending in. Thank you so much for sending things to the accurate address and not DMing me, because I just delete them without opening them. This one comes from Portia Bartley, and it's, hi Portia! It says, hi Kelechi. It was such a nice surprise to see new episodes come out. I appreciate your recent reference to Oprah's Super Soul Sundays and your perfect description of arrogant people I simply refer to as ashy dickheads due to poor articulation. My Share Your Magnificence nomination could also fall under So You Mad. I'll let you choose. Melissa Butler is a Black woman who created the vegan makeup line, The Lip Bar. When taking her business on the American version of Dragon's Den in 2015, she got laughed at by an all-white panel of judges who told her that her products wouldn't sell. One even went as far as to tell Melissa, who was wearing green lipstick from her line, that no one would approach her unless they were trying to resuscitate her. Wow. The way I would have slapped. Anyway, fast forward to earlier this month. Melissa's makeup line is now being sold across the US by the supermarket chain Target, or Target, as I like to call it. She makes history as the first woman to do so with a vegan, Black-owned makeup line. Big up yourself, Melissa Butler. Thank you for the new content, and I look forward to listening to any additional episodes you decide to bless us with. Portia Bartley, actor, writer, filmmaker. Big up yourself, Melissa Butler. 2 slaps on your chest. Thank you. Thank you for creating a vegan makeup line. Thank you for creating things for Black women. Thank you for doing things so wonderfully in this way. You know how I feel. You know, generally speaking, people are mad, specifically white people are mad. And this is a perfect example of when God has put something in your heart for you to do, no human, no ashy, unseasoned, useless human can step in the way of that greatness. What God has blessed, let no man put asunder. Yeah? And if God has joined you together with your dream, with this thing, and said, you know what, I've put this in your heart and only you can fulfill it, then that's the way that it's going to be. And people can laugh all that they want, but it will come to fruition eventually. And look at that. Look at life. Look at life. Now Melissa is out here and she's got her makeup line in Target, as she deserves. You know, a vegan makeup line at that. And when people say vegan these days, I also need to check, because Demi was telling me about, vegan makeup lines and them not necessarily being cruelty free. So, those things are important as well. But thank you, Portia, for sharing wonderful Black women with me, for me to know about. And then from Lucille, I've got Share Your Magnificence. It says, "Hi, Kelechi, I hope you're well. I'm a long-time listener of your podcast, and I thought I'd share with you who I find as magnificent, but often forgotten as a former French athlete. You might have heard of her. Soraya Bonali was an incredible figure skater in the early 90s, probably one of the best in her generation. Despite the systemic racism, the hateful, jealous comments she encountered on a daily basis from judges, the press, the audience, fellow figure skaters, she continued to be the ultimate baby girl, always striving to do what she enjoyed. However hard she tried, regardless of how much better she performed in competitions, she would rarely receive the success and recognition that she deserved. She dominated the French and European figure skating championships for about 10 years, but was consistently receiving overt racism in the Olympics. There are also some interesting, if not tragic, dynamics in place with her white male coach, then her white mum who became her coach. There is so much to be said about her incredible life and how she managed to remain true to herself. She said, 'Don't call me a rebel, call me fearless.' And I thought she was really worth raising awareness of. Have an amazing and blessed day, and thank you for all that you're doing, Lucille." You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. Hey, now I'm sitting at the top of the hill. Ooh. Anthony Hamilton, please don't sue me. That's just a tune. And thank you, Lucille. And I want to say Soraya Bonali. So Soraya Bonali, 2 slaps. Thank you for paving the way for fellow Black girls to live their best lives. Thank you for being Black and excellent. Thank you for showing the girls what to do with those skates. Thank you for inventing ice. Thank you for doing all of the things. Thank you. And I'm so sorry that people are so ashy and so arrogant and so jealous and so insecure that they wouldn't give you your props, that they wouldn't give you your flowers when you were due them. Like, it just makes me really, really sad that Black women have been excellent for centuries. And this is another thing that Rennie said today at her cover reveal. Black women have literally been excellent for centuries, but nobody wants to give us our props. But now when we're giving ourselves the props, it's like, oh, I feel like she's got a chip on her shoulder. Oh, I don't know why she behaves like that. I find her a bit arrogant, if I'm perfectly honest. I find her a bit aggressive, if I'm perfectly honest. If you're perfectly honest, if you are perfectly honest, you know yourself that your food needs a little bit more spice. You know yourself that your food needs a little piece more seasoning. Go and be honest about that. Go and be honest about things that actually need your honesty, not this other bullshit about, I feel like she's got a chip on her shoulder, just because we're out here celebrating ourselves. So thank you, Lucille, for sharing that. And then my last Share Your Magnificence comes from my baby girl, Sarah Dario Moy, who was the wonderful woman who put on the event that I did at Manchester, the talk that I did in Manchester, which was actually one of the pivotal things that made me decide to bring the podcast back and bring it back in this format, working with every 2 weeks and that. So Sarah writes, "Hello, Kelechi. It is me, one of your biggest fans in existence. I have been meaning to write in for some time now, but feel like I'm now ready to do so. First and foremost, I want to send you the biggest congratulations on all the blessings that are coming your way. From the TED Talk to your Uber ad, you are out here shining. Amen, sis. I also want to say thank you for bringing your podcast back. To think that the talk in Manchester was involved in your decision makes me so happy. But back to my email. As I mentioned in the talk, I grew up in Windsor and then spent 3 years at a boarding school in Ascot. Whew! Wow. Until I decide to get serious with my award-winning book, I can simply tell you that I am only 21 years old and racism has stolen many of my experiences. This really rocked my mental state at university. That was until I found you, who helped me discover tarot and then myself. Since last September, I've used my tarot cards practically every day to gain insight into what forces are manifesting within and around us. I had a really powerful reading the other day and the Four of Swords card popped out, completely taking me back to your last podcast, Be Still and Know It. And the clean-hearted will always win, said by the amazing @spiritual baddie. Big up Ellis, have resonated with me so much. I feel like these phrases have allowed me to gain confidence on choosing what opportunities are going to serve me most. As I approach the end of my final year, I've become lost on thoughts about what I'm going to do next. But through listening to your podcast, I feel less scared on taking the journey. So I thank you. Wishing you all the best, Sarah. And she sent me the cards that she pulled out. And Sarah's also got the Kaleidodope deck. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But you notice in the picture that Sarah sent me, she also pulled the 7 of coins as well. So maybe the message is for you, Sarah. But it's beautiful, this card pull that Sarah's done for herself. It really is beautiful. And it's just talking about that stillness. Like, nothing is crashing around you. You know, there's sometimes when we feel like, oh my God, the world is crumbling. And it's literally not. You are just standing on you're standing on your vibrator. Maybe somehow your foot pressed your vibrator and it's making you go, and you're like, oh my God, earthquake, everything's crumbling. No, just take your foot off your fucking vibrator. Nothing is crumbling. And that's why in Sarah's case, she got the reverse tower, because everything is as it should be. So be still and enjoy the moment. Enjoy that everything is happening as it should. Give people the chance to fill your cup with happiness. Let people in. The sun is shining over you. The sun is shining on your life. Spring has literally sprung. Like, be the sunflower and follow the sun, baby girls, baby boys, and baby non-binaries. That's the message. So those are our magnificences. Is that a word? Magnificences for this week. Let me move on then to the shit pile known as So You Mad. So You Mad, I'm going to do it quick fire. Jussie Smollett has been exonerated of all 16 charges that were brought up against him. I don't know why you'd even bring up 16 charges against someone. I've tried to avoid speaking about it because I still don't know what's going on, to be perfectly honest. But I feel very worried about the fact that Donald Trump is involved in this conversation. It really, really bothers me that Donald Trump is actually saying Jussie's name and being like, yeah, he's a dry ass bitch and all of this stuff. Like, well, he didn't say that verbatim, but you know, like, I'm surprised that a president is calling people by their names and then calling them out of their names and just doing extremely, extremely wild things, which tells me that there's more to it. I don't know what happened with that attack. I am always of the stance that we should always believe victims. So I will continue to believe victims until that specific victim I'm shown otherwise. And in Jussie's case, for the fact that all 16 counts were dropped, it just goes to show that everything from the beginning was extremely heavy-handed and should not have been handled in that way. And then people are like, well, we don't know if he's innocent. Nobody said anything about him being innocent. They just dropped the charges. That's interesting, because whenever we bring up R. Kelly and them man there and all the wildness that they've done, you are the same ones that turn around and go, well, he must be innocent because the charges got dropped. Okay, the charges got dropped. Okay, so it's one rule for R. Kelly out here raping little girls, but it's another rule for Jussie, just because he's not raping anyone whatsoever. Definitely no young people, definitely no children whatsoever. He was attacked and he said that this happened and that happened, and we just don't know all of the facts about it. It's very, very different. It's a very different case. But for some reason, you're changing the rules. You're changing the rules when it comes to who's innocent, when the charges are dropped and things of that nature. So Jussie, I hope you can go on to live your life. But after he's been talked about in such a way, I just think it will be difficult for him to actually live his life in the way that he wants to live his life now, because that's all they ever wanted to do. The Chicago Police Department, Donald Trump, everyone, they just wanted to confuse us so we didn't know what the fuck was going on, and then just look at Jussie as if he's a bad person. And it makes me really, really sad. So that's Jussie's out of the way. My next one, some of you might not like this, but my next one is your brethren, Michael Jackson. Your brethren, Michael Jackson. I am a firm believer of keeping the same energy. And I know that I've said it on this show before. If I'm going to come at R. Kelly with all of the flames, with all of the heat, who born me? Who born me? Which man, which woman born me that I will not give the same fire to MJ, regardless of whether he's dead? Oh, don't speak ill of the dead because they can't defend themselves. Well, okay, they can't because they're dead. All right, cool. But I can look at footage, right? I can look at footage that I see with my korokoro eyes and go from there. Now, I only watched the first part of like Surviving Neverland documentary, and it was really, really hard to take. And people were saying to me, well, you know, don't believe them because they've got the same lawyer. They're all trying to get money. Yeah, just Wayne Robson and the other one. Just don't believe them. Like this, that. Like, I was like, but it's very graphic. Yeah, but it would be graphic. They corroborated on their story. Don't listen to them. If I even put them two to the side though, why is a fully grown man rolling with all of these little boys over the years? Why? And what upsets me more is that it's like all the other celebrities and them man there, like they all knew deep down that Michael Jackson had done these things, but everyone like just overlooked it because, you know, all these stars, all of these superstars have their eccentricities. Eccentricity is, I don't know, liking to wear your underwear on top of your trousers. Eccentricity is not raping little children. That's not quite it. And I say this because Barbara Streisand, who I consider to be a baby girl, it all began the day I found that from my window I could only see a piece of sky. That's from my musical theatre days. Anyway, moving on. Barbara Streisand took it upon herself to tell us things that nobody asked her to tell us. Like, it's just bullshit and she should have kept her mouth shut. She said basically that she doesn't believe them guys in the Finding or Leaving Neverland story, which is fine. You don't want to believe them, but there are so many other boys. There are so many other boys. And I know that Macaulay Culkin was like, he never did anything to me, but what? So because he didn't do anything to Macaulay Culkin, allegedly, that means that he didn't do anything to these other boys. I just really, really struggle. I'm really sorry. I really, really struggle with that. Anyway, she went on to say, but his sexual needs were his sexual needs. And at the end of the day, both of those men went on to get married and they both have children, so it didn't kill them. Almost as if Barbara Streisand is penalizing them for moving on with their life. As if like, you know, when somebody rapes you, continuously over a number of years and you're in this weird fucked up space of being like, oh, but my God, they're an absolute superstar. I don't, you know, what do I make of this? Because you've moved on with your life, even though that happened, somehow it makes it any less severe. As somebody who survived sexual abuse from childhood, I can tell you that very much so I needed to move on. And there were many times that I never thought I would move on. I never thought I'd get to this point in my life, but I got here. Now, if anybody tells me that, oh, well, it must have not been that bad then because look at how you're thriving now, I will tell them to go and slow wine on a fucking knife. That's what I'll tell them to go and do. Barbara Streisand, do better. Sis, do better. You couldn't have given me all of those musical theatre bops only for you to be so ignorant in this situation. And I'm always worried when it's women. Like, why are you saying such wild things? Like, don't you care about children? And it just really, really bothers me. It really bothers me. And then it got worse because then Marlon Wayans, and I find his series rather problematic, I'm not gonna lie. Marlon Wayans then went on, I think it was The Breakfast Club. I could be lying. But then he went on and he was just like, you know, people want to say all of these things about Michael. You know, they want to say all of these things about Michael, but why aren't we talking about the fact that Michael is great? You know, we should be talking about the greatness of Michael, the things that he achieved. Like we've all done bad things. You know, there are things that we've done that, you know, we're not necessarily proud of. And maybe he might have done some things, but you know, why can't we celebrate the fact that he was great? Bitch. That is all we're celebrating. That is part of the problem, that you people can't seem to separate the person from their art. And so therefore you're saying that their art justifies the atrocities that they commit in their personal lives. And I refuse for that to be the case. This is what I'm saying, that nobody's out here going, you know what, full stop, you know, he didn't do it because X, Y, Z. Everyone's sort of saying, yeah, well, I guess if he did it, well, you know, haven't we all done bad things? No, I definitely have not gone around like touching up children and ruining their lives. I definitely haven't done that. So no, we haven't all done bad things. Like, to that extent, you're talking like bad things like we went and stole sweets from Hamleys. Like, come on, behave yourself. Like, if you're going to have energy for one type of person, please have the same type of energy for the other type of person. Now, I know that Michael is deeply embedded in our childhoods, and I know that he gave us wonderful music, and he gave us the moonwalk, and he gave us all of these things. But the fact is, these rumors, as you call them, have been following him for ages. He settled out of court in some cases and whatever else. It just seems wild to me, is all I'm going to say. It just seems very wild. Even the things that he was said to have in his home, bells and this and that, like, it just all seems wild to me. And people going, yeah, but you know, he had the mind of a child. He had the body and the access of a man. So therefore, it is a problem. It is a major problem. Full stop. Full stop. So that's my take on MJ. Now moving on to, I guess I've got to. Moving on to Jordan Peele. As you know, Jordan Peele released Us. Us is brilliant. Really enjoyed watching it. I'm yet to see it again. Anyway, Jordan Peele said recently in an interview that going forward, he's going to focus his attention on casting Black leads in his films. I feel like this is extremely noble. I think that this is revolutionary. I think that this is wonderful. The whites don't agree. The whites are very upset. Well, I don't think that it's particularly fair that, you know, what if we said that we were just exclusively gonna cast white people in all of our things? You don't have to exclusively, like, you don't have to say it overtly, because you say it in your actions. You say it in the fact that you only cast fucking white people in all of your things. You've been doing it for centuries. You've been doing it for decades. If we're talking about like the film and all of them things there, like, you've been doing it for decades. You only cast each other. It's just gone basically unsaid in the overt sense, but it's been said in many, many ways. Look at all of the films that are out. Look at the majority of films that are out. If more than, you know how we say when more than two people are gathered in my name, well, God says, you know, Jesus, when more than two people are gathered in my name, I am there. It seems like whenever more than two people are gathered in a film, it's like, oh, that's a Black movie. When it's more than two Black people, it's like, oh, that's a Black movie. Why does it have to be a Black movie? Why? Because that's telling you that you're saying that that is not the norm. That is not something that we're going to accept. And they're like, oh, well, that's reverse racism. There's no such thing as reverse racism. What you can do, though, is reverse yourself into the river. Do that. Because you're stupid. You're stupid and you're wild, and you're just a silly. You're a silly person. You're a silly mushroom. Big up Jordan Peele. Big up Jordan Peele wanting to champion Blackness and wanting to put Blackness forward at any opportunity. I had to block a woman who'd followed me for years the other day. I think I might have mentioned it. Can't remember. But I had to block her the other day because she wrote something about Jordan Peele where she was just like, oh, Jordan Peele's, this was before he said that he's going to just be exclusively casting Black leads. But he did the Us First thing where he invited Black journalists and writers and everyone and influencers or whatever to the first screening of Us. And she wrote, oh, look at him inviting, using all of these black people to promote his film by doing Us First. Meanwhile, he's going home to a white wife and a white mother. And I just thought, all disrespect, not even no disrespect, all disrespect at your big age, this is what you're saying. What, did he have a choice in choosing, like, did he choose his mother in the physical realm? Like, did he, in the physical sense, did he choose for his mother to be white in this way? And maybe he did, but he's still out here championing blackness. He's got a white wife. She's out there doing bits, doing what she needs to be doing, minding her fucking business. But then you're here being preoccupied as if black people can't do things for black people just because they happen to have a white parent or they happen to have a white partner. It just pissed me off. So I had to address her straight up and be like, what are you trying to say? Because from the heat that people were trying to bring to me last summer, I just need you to be clear so I know whether to block you, because that tells me then that when all of that madness was happening, you were very, very happy to see it because that's how you've been feeling deep down. And if that's how you've been feeling deep down, then you can fuck yourself. Then you can definitely go fuck yourself. So I blocked her and just kept it moving because first of all, I even hate when they think that they're older than me because I look like such a baby girl. Some people don't realize that I'm 32 years old. So they'll be talking about me like, oh, that's my daughter. That's my internet daughter. If I was younger, I'd be this, I'd be that. Fam, I'm not a young teen, you know. I'm not a small girl. So don't approach me like that because you're going to get a big girl talking to. That's what you're going to get. Move mad and you're going to get a big girl talking to. So she was one of those that kind of went with that whole vibe of, oh, I see her as, that's my internet daughter. I'm not your internet daughter. I'm not your internet anything because you're rude, you're bright and you're feisty and I don't want anything to do with you and you're bitter and I don't like it. I think it's smelly. I think it stinks. So yeah, big up Jordan Peele for being like, yeah, I'm going to cast black people exclusively as the leads in my films going forward. If you all don't like it, you can just take a straw. You see, I've got an abundance of straws in front of me, the Kalashnikov straws. Take a straw and go and suck out your mother. That's what you can go and do because nobody asked you. Because even some of you with your black partners who came out of a black pussy, you're still doing fuck all for black people. So if this mixed race Jordan Peele wants to go home to his white wife and love on his white mother, then let him do the things because he's doing what? He's doing more than you fucking are. That's for sure. And for all of the white people who are complaining about, oh, well, it's reverse racism. No, it's not reverse racism. You are just blatantly racist because you don't understand a life or a world where you are not the center of everybody's narrative. And I just tell you now, you're not the center of my narrative. I don't give a damn. I don't want to know. I just want to live my best life, uplifting, championing, celebrating black women, specifically black women, black people generally, if they're not moving in a misogynoir type of way, just celebrating everyone. Let me live my best life. That's all I care about. Thank you so much. Moving on from that, talking about films actually and casting people in films, I need to put something out there. I feel like we have a Say Your Mind prayer circle. And what I need us to put into prayer is the fact that Viola Davis and her partner, who are the founders of Juvie Productions, have decided to make Wild Seed by Octavia E. Butler into a TV series for Amazon. Now, I'm sure I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but Wild Seed is the first book I read that I fell in love with wholeheartedly. Like I tumbled into that book and I never, ever emerged. Like I've been tweeting about this book from 2010 saying that if it's ever made into a TV series or a film, God, please make sure that I'm casting the role of Anyanwu because she is this black Nigerian spirit, as it were, in human form that gets into this centuries-long tussle, love-hate tussle with another spirit called Doro. And in the backdrop, we see America being built as they're going through this tempestuous relationship over centuries. This is the one thing I've wanted with all of my heart and soul, apart from playing Serena in the story of her life. But I've wanted to do this, be in this series, or be in the screen adaptation of this book for as long as I can remember. It's what's kept me going doing this whole acting thing. You know, I had to tweet at Viola Davis and be like, please, Auntie Viola, I know that you don't know me, but you need to understand that I'm a baby girl. as you are the inventor of acting, I need you to understand that I'm a student of your inventions, and there is nobody walking this earth that will be able to do that role justice the way that I will, because I truly am Anyanwu. I truly am. Please, God. Big up the person who I cannot name who actually tried to help me. Two people actually who have tried to help me to actually realize this dream of being in this production since it's been announced. Please, if you've got a prayer circle, dash me in it, but don't dash me in it with them people who are like, oh, let's pray for such and such because XYZ, when they're pretty much just exposing the person's business. Thank you to everybody who's been tweeting at Viola Davis to ask her to see me for this role. I appreciate it all because I honestly love that story so much. More than, like I watched Black Panther 2 and I was like, oh, I'd love to be in Black Panther 2, like be like a villain and do all of that stuff. And I still definitely would. But in my mind, I always thought that Wild Seed was that unpopular, incredible story that was undiscovered, and I would have to earn all of the money to be able to make it into a film myself, not realizing that there were other humans walking this earth who love that story as much as I do. And now it's been optioned as a TV series, and there's nothing I want more in this life now than to be in that TV series. Like, well, there's one thing, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because, again, Emma's been telling me to actually share my things with people. I'm so excited. I almost cried. Well, I'm saying I almost cried. I'm a liar. I cried when I saw that it's been turned into a TV series, because it's the one thing I've asked God for forever and ever. I was like, please, this story, when it becomes something that goes on the screen, my name must be involved in one way or another, whether I'm directing, whether I'm acting in it, but I must be involved. I must be. But I always saw myself playing Anyanwu and winning an Oscar for it, or even an Emmy, but I'll take whatever I can get. So I just thought I'd share that bit with you. Moving on from that, that wasn't even meant to be in So You Mad. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm mad. The last thing I wanted to talk about on So You Mad was this tweet that everyone's been sharing. I want to say no disrespect, but I feel like I mean all disrespect. All of it, yes, disrespect. So the tweet says here, don't let this tainted self-love trend have you 50 and alone because you walked away from everything that didn't serve you instead of learning conflict resolution. So many people shared that. Lots of men and women, everybody just sharing that tweet, sharing it about, talking about, that's right, all of you people talking about self-love, and you're leaving situations when you could sit there and work at it like our parents did and our grandparents did. Fuck off. What do you mean? What do you even mean? Don't get me wrong. I see where the tweet was going. I see where the tweet was trying to land, but I don't think it landed there. I think it missed the runway and ended up somewhere else. The reason I say that is because, yes, the more that the idea, the term self-love is being co-opted by the mainstream, the more that people are trying to monetize it and just change it from what it truly means. And so I agree that in a sense it is tainted. But if you're going to tell people that, if you don't feel like the situation's serving you, why didn't you try conflict resolution? I feel like oftentimes before people walk away, they have already tried. And if in fact they haven't tried enough, do you know what life will do? Life will give you the same lesson over and over and over again. Even when you smack up the thing, sometimes a situation comes up in my life and I know what it's trying to trigger within me. I know what it's trying to trigger within my shadow self, and I deal with it like a fucking boss. Like I deal with it like a rascal G. But that same lesson will keep coming back, because it's almost as if God is saying, I want to make sure that you've learned. And once you've learned, I need you to now make this a practice of your humanity. You will continue to see this lesson in various forms, so you can be reminded that this is one of the areas that you have a weakness. Let us continue training it so it becomes stronger. If someone keeps running away from situations and claiming that they're running away because it didn't serve them, life will continue to give them those same lessons until they deal with the thing that they are running from. You know what? You can't outrun God. You cannot outrun God, right? So that is what I believe in that situation. Now, my main problem with that tweet rests on the term or the phrase 50 and alone. First of all, 50 is not even very old. It's not even old, full stop. I don't believe that there's any age that's old. Like, age is one thing, habits are another thing. There are 20-year-olds that they're fucked, basically. They might as well be 102. Like, they just don't give a damn. But yes, 50 and alone bothers me because it's a term that's weaponized specifically against women. To me, that tweet was very much targeted at women. And rarely are men asked to tolerate and to do conflict resolution, because men can behave any way that they want, because the fact of the matter is patriarchy tells us that there's always a woman out there or someone out there who will tolerate them. Whereas when it's women, it's like, oh, well, you better cook, you better clean, you better know how to do this. Otherwise, you're going to end up left on the shelf. You're going to end up alone. Nobody's going to want you. And you know what? There's a difference. There's a motherfucking difference between being alone and being lonely, right? There are so many women out there who are in their 40s who are not living their best life because they are still thinking that they need to have this stamp of approval by doing all of the things that society has told them to do, instead of making use of the freedom that they have and living their life as fully as they can. Some of you are in marriages and, 10-year anniversary with my best friend. What best friend? What best friend? Please tell me what best friend. How is he your best friend? You don't chat, but you just want to come and say best friend for the gram. Meanwhile, you're lonely in your marriage. Meanwhile, you are desperate for some sort of connection and release, and you just don't have it. But you've been told that this is what you need to do. This is your lot in life. And thank God, like, oh, I might be miserable in this marriage, but at least I've got a partner. Fuck off. Fuck off. And I'm saying that as somebody that does have a partner. I'm saying that as someone that does have a partner. And I know that how much I had to work at this relationship. And there were many times that I just thought, you know what, I can't come and kill myself, but something has said, you know what, just hang in there a little bit more. Hang in there a little bit more. So I'm not even saying it as someone that necessarily doesn't do conflict resolution, but I would hate to be told that the reason I'm doing it is because I don't want to end up 50 and alone. No, I'm doing it because I see the good in this person and I see the beauty in this relationship, and I believe that it is worth fighting for when that time is right. Should I decide that it's not, then I'm going to bounce in it and no one can tell me shit. And if I'm 50, out here with no partner, skinning out my palm, dancing on my head top, then that's what I chose to do. And God will still reside in me either way. And you can go and fuck yourself. And it just really irritated me, everyone who was sharing that, going, well, you know what she means. No, I don't know what she means. I don't know what she means, because she had 280 characters to be clear on what she means. And she wasn't. She wasn't. Stop attacking women for choosing themselves first. How about that? Stop attacking women for deciding that, you know what, men or other people aren't going to be the central narrative of my existence. I am going to be the lead character in my own motherfucking story. And that's just the way it's going to be. And more women should do it. We haven't had enough time to exercise our, our autonomy in that way. Men have had all of the chances. If they don't like something, whether they've got 5 children with you, 10 children with you, man's going to bounce like he's out. Women don't necessarily have that option. So if they want to keep leaving situations that they feel that doesn't serve them, whether right or wrong, they can do whatever the fuck they like, because they are also autonomous beings in this society. And they also have the right to make mistakes, if it is that, and rectify it. How about that? How about that? That's how I see it. So all of you who are sharing it, I'm not necessarily attacking you. I just feel like be very wary of the things that you're perpetuating, because whether you realize it or not, you have friends who probably read those things and they feel like shit because they're like, rah. So basically my life is the life that nobody wants because I'm 50 out here and I ain't got a man. Stop making people feel rubbish. Stop making people feel rubbish for choosing themselves when you've decided not to. And that applies for education. That applies for job roles, everything. Women are always taught to endure. Oh, you're not enjoying it. Oh, you're not enjoying it. Oh, well, a good woman always sticks with it. All these songs that these men like to write, all of these rappers always talk about, oh, she's a good woman because even when I was cheating on her with 50 billion women and giving her STIs and going to prison and doing all of these things, she stuck by me. Look at Wendy Williams. Is that not someone that's holding on for the sake of trying to do conflict resolution. Meanwhile, her useless husband has gone and had an entire baby with another girl. So how much conflict resolution do you man want? It's subjective, isn't it? It's subjective. What everyone can take is different. If I've decided that, you know what, the way that you fucking chew annoys me and that's enough reason for me to leave, then I'm going to leave. Other people, your tolerances might be higher. Let people do what they want to do and you face your front and mind your business and focus on my black king, my black love, #black love, and doing or whatever that and being a footmat for somebody. Go and do that and leave other people alone. Like, it's really, really aggravating. Oh, anyway, that's my So You Mad. Anyway, finishing off then with Straw of the Week, aka Suck Your Mum. My Straw of the Week, Straw of the Year, Straw of the Century goes out to none other than Rachel Dolezal. I was hoping that she would just kind of like vanish into irrelevance, but she continues to like say things that really, really aggravate me. And I just wish that she would shut up and disappear. Some might be like, well, don't look at what she's saying. I try not to. I try to not involve myself in whatever this useless woman is saying, but somehow it comes up on my feed. So anyway, on her Instagram page, this confused, useless woman put up a post of her natural hair. You're a white woman, so, I mean, yeah, okay. She put up a picture of her natural hair and she wrote the following caption. For all those nosy people who keep asking how long or what colour my natural hair is right now, here you go. Just because I don't ever wear my natural hair out doesn't mean I hate myself or am ashamed. What are you... Help! Chineke me. Hey! So, Rachel Dolezal is so violent. She's so violent. I know I talk about Kim Kardashian and them Kardashians being violent, but Rachel Dolezal is so violent because what she does is literally takes the narrative of black women and just makes it into something in a warped way that somehow that applies to her as well. You are a white woman. You're a white woman. Whether you feel like you identify as black, you are a white woman. Nobody can shame you for your hair because it is already a preconceived notion that you have hair. It's black women who are shamed, actual black women who are shamed for having braids and having wigs and having weaves because people believe that, oh, you know, what do they call them? Baldy. Meanwhile, your hair is flowing, your hair is lustrous, your hair is full, your hair is living its best life. But just because you decided to wear a protective hairstyle, people want to chat shit. So it bothers me that she's been so violent that she's even trying to take a narrative that doesn't apply to her. Like when she said she got attacked and she was sent hate mail, racist hate mail. You're not a black woman. Stop it. So she goes on to say, I just prefer to not reinforce European standards of beauty in hair that have historically been so oppressive. Also, I stuck at styling straight hair and think whoever came up with the idea that straighter hair is better was whack. Hair can be political, philosophical, or cultural statement, but isn't always that. Ease of maintenance, confidence, and overall synchronicity with your spirit and lifestyle are also factors. I keep my natural hair healthy enough to anchor the hairstyles I feel most confident wearing. What is your hair story? She hashtagged it, textured hair movement, natural hair don't care, braids are beautiful, textured weaves rock, I do my own hair, hair is confidence, hair is not everything, be you, hair is a choice, you don't owe anyone an explanation, in the mood to answer questions today, don't expect it to last, hashtag peace, hashtag one love, hashtag excuse me, hashtag while I lace my weave up. Rachel Dolezal, please suck your mum. Please suck your mum. Just suck your mother. Please. Sucketh thy mother. Please. There is no other way to describe it. Please, Rachel Dolezal, just go and suck your mother. Take as many straws as you want from my table and just go and suck your mother, please. Because I don't Ugh, I can't tell you, this is a next level of cultural appropriation. People are like, oh, well, people can wear braids and do whatever they like. You know, it's a cultural exchange. It's a cultural exchange. But it's a one-way cultural exchange. It's a one-way cultural exchange because when black women like me are getting into the workplace, want to do a weave, want to do a braid, they're mistaken for other people, or work colleagues are like, oh, I didn't recognize you there. Ha, 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 ha. So it's a one-way street. This isn't a cultural exchange. This is someone trying to co-opt a narrative that is not hers. There's nothing wrong with her hair. Yes, also, she can technically refer to it as natural hair, but that's not what we're talking about when we're talking about natural hair. She knows that. And even then, talking about European ideals of whatever, again, nobody was talking to you. And there is a way to be an ally without being a shrimp. She's just a shrimp right now. Like, she's just annoying. She's a fucking prawn. She's annoying. I can't stand her. And it upsets me. And I think it's just so, like I said, it's so extremely violent that she would co-opt a narrative that's not about her. And in her wanting to be so black, she said that, oh, yeah, this is about me too. And I can sort of see what she's trying to flip. What she's trying to flip is that women are saying to her, like, babes, I'm sure you've torn out all of your edges with those fucking braids that you insist on wearing. How can she say, oh, I don't know how to style straight hair? Bitch, that's what you were born with. That's what you were born with to your white parents. Go and style your hair fucking properly and stop trying to copy something that's not for you. Like, is your scalp not sore? That should have been one of your hashtags. Hashtag, my scalp is sore. Hashtag, my scalp is falling off. Hashtag, I no longer have edges. Go and hashtag, go away. Just go away, Rachel, and leave black women alone. Let black women enjoy black women things and stop trying to take it from us. How about that? How about that? It's just ridiculous at this point. And hair is political. Hair can be political. Hair can be philosophical. Hair is, for black women, hair is political, even if we would like it to not be. So by you doing what you're doing, you know what that's called? That's also part of politics. It's called colonization. It's called neo-colonization. That's what it's called. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to colonize a narrative that's not yours. And that is very, very white of you. That's a very, very white thing to do. So you'll never be black because your inherent white leanings of wanting to take things and dominate things that do not belong to you is very, very apparent. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. Rachel Dolezal, go and suck your mother, you prick. Whew. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of SYM. I have been Kelechi Okafor. Follow me on @Kelechnikov or @Say Your Mind Pod. I hope you're all enjoying your affirmation cards. I hope you're all enjoying your planners. I don't have any plans of releasing any new merch. Just living my best life at the moment. Thank you so much for all of the support. Thank you to all of you people who listen in every week. And thank you to the new listeners and my longtime listeners. All of you rock. All of you are baby girls, baby boys, baby non-binaries, and I appreciate you greatly, and may God continue to bless you all. I know that I'm doing some things in the past few days and I've pretty much forgotten what those things are, but I'll let you know when I remember. That's pretty much it. I have been Kelechi Okafor, and this has been SYM, officially known as Say Your Mind, unofficially known as what? That's right, suck your mum. Peace.
It's the Benz Brunani womanist, baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. If you sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea, we are go sip it, yo. Hard time scrolling for your long throats. You might learn something you never know. Collect you fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say your mind, say your mind.